All right, everybody. So I guess I'm going to kick it up a notch on my knife reviews because since taking down all my fire alarm related content to appease our tech overlords, my channel has now producing no revenue. The gun reviews were the only thing bringing in any money. There's a $100 threshold that you have to meet each month in order to even get paid. And so I was going from 240 on a good month, 250 down to 200, but I was in that $200 to $250 a month, my payout. And now I'm down to nothing because I went and deleted the gun videos that they were demonetizing anyway. So I guess we'll pick up the pace on some of the other stuff and see if I can get traction, if it makes sense to keep doing this. But anyway, what we're going to look at today, I've been in kind of a traditional knife kick lately. Similar to how, I kind of grew to appreciate revolvers more as time went on and stuff like that. And so went and picked up a nice little piece. So you've seen some of these other ones. The Civivi Elementum is not exactly traditional, but I put it in the sort of class as, more of a gentleman's folder. This, I would say, is much more of a traditional knife, the Civivi Appalachian Drifter 2, which is a front flipper, which for me seems to work better with my finger than my thumb. Even though it has some modern touches like a liner lock and it's a flipper, it still has that very classy, clean, nice materials, all that kind of stuff. And it's more of a traditional clip point blade and things like that. And then, of course, as you get into, we got the other one here. We got the Clap by MKM, which is the parent company of Lionsteel. And this is probably one of my favorite all around knives. Just big enough to be useful, beefy, thick. It's a little heavy for its size, even though you see a lot of titanium and stuff. People think titanium's super light. I mean, it's lighter than steel, but it's still heavier than aluminum. But this is just a work of art, just a really beautiful, beautiful piece. But it's still a locking knife. And of course, I started thinking, like, oh, maybe, I should have a couple slip joints. I prefer the lock for the safety feature of if I had to stab it into something, one less thing having to worry about it closing on my finger. Yes, I have a Band-Aid on my finger because I cut myself with a slip joint, but that was my fault. But I do have some slip joints. I mean, I grabbed my favorite of my current slip joints, which is going to be my Smoky Mountain Knife Works edition, I guess was the blue one that they came out with. But this is the Victorinox, is it the Farmer X A-locks? But it's got an awl. It's got a can opener, bottle opener with screwdriver. It's got the can opener. It's got the saw. It's got a pair of scissors in there. And of course, it's got the main spear point blade. And I like this because I like the metal handles. The blades tend to be thicker on the A-locks. It just feels like a heavier duty, more premium slip joint knife. So I've been looking at some of the other ones out there, and I was like, you know what, let me get something. I want to find something really nice and classy, something that's almost like a conversation piece when you whip it out. And believe me, whipping it out sometimes can start conversations. Not always good ones, depends on where you're at. The privacy of your own home, good. Church, probably not so much. Anyway, here's what we've got. This is the Lionsteel, let's see, the Best Man 2 with carbon fiber. So there's a Best Man and there's a Best Man 2. The Best Man 1 is the, whatchamacallit, it's got more of a clip point. And I went for this one. The reason for is it gives me a little more blade up here instead of cutting away and going down there to the point. It just gives me a little bit more to grab it. Sometimes I don't always like using the thumbnail nick because sometimes if you don't have enough of the thumbnail because you chew them down short like mine, or you end up like breaking and ripping your thumbnail and then your thumb hurts for a couple days. When you separate the nail from the bed, then go eat some French fries or something with salt. That's fun. But so what we've got here is the Best Man 2, which is a really nice slip joint with titanium bolsters on each end. The reason it's on both ends is you can get this in other configurations. There's one that comes with a secondary blade that's more of a Warncliffe, shorter design. Then there's one with both of those, and I think it might have a corkscrew or something. I just wanted a simple, classy little blade made of old world kind of craftsmanship, but with modern materials like the carbon fiber, the use of titanium and stuff. Uses Bowler M390 steel. They're saying it's a drop point, but I believe this is more of a spear point, to be honest. I got a nice satin finish. The blade length is 2.875, so just under 3 inches. Overall length is 6.625 inches. So it's a small knife, but you can get a full hand on it. It's not so big that you're going to do a lot of heavy use with it, because I think trying to grip something that small, your hand will start to cramp after a while. But no pocket clip, no hot spots. Really just beautiful. It's just got just a little bit of an arch. And here's what I like. Let's see. Again, I'm not sure how well this is going to zoom in. That looks okay. But all the edges, the grinds, it's razor sharp. It's got a nice stabby point while being well supported. Got a mild swedge going on there. Blade stock is 0.11 inches thick. So decent without being too much. It'll make a good little slicer. But again, with Lionsteel, and then really any of the MKM knives out of Italy, all of these are perfectly radiused. It's a crowned spine. The spring in the back is nice and rounded. There's no, even though it looks like that's a 90-degree edge, there's no real hot spots. Even though that comes to a 90-degree point, it's perfectly rounded and radiused. There's nothing on here that's uncomfortable or grinds into your hand or anything. It's very naturally gripping. It's not entirely straight, so it does have that little bit of a curve, which does lend itself a little bit to your palm. It just kind of feels a little bit more natural. There is no finger guard or anything. This is a slip joint. There's no way to open it one-handed. There's really nothing to get a hold on. And because it's got a really good spring, if I do this, I'm probably going to drop my finger back in there, hence the Band-Aid. So we're not going to do that. So it is a two-handed opening, and this is a strong lock. So while it takes more effort to open, you can hear that. That thing just locks in there. So while you still have to be careful, you got to be careful what you stab into, because if the knife were to turn and you're you're pushing in, and then your hand slips this way, the blade's stuck. So what's it going to do? It's going to close. You're going to cut yourself really nice. So you do have to use more care when you're using a slip joint. But for a lot of things, opening a letter, opening a package, cutting food, tearing open a box or something from Amazon, things like that, normal knife things. I mean, people have used slip joints for centuries, and you have to be more selective in what you slice into or what you stab. It's more for stabbing, just to make sure the knife doesn't close on your hand. Whereas something like this does have that added safety. I can jam that into something, and unless I'm being a complete tool, I'm not going to activate that lock and have it close on my finger. So knives like this have more inherent safety to them for those types of tasks. But for everyday cutting type chores, you've got a very serviceable tool. Just don't be a tool. For a size comparison, the thing with the Swiss Army knives, I like them a lot. I like the utility of having these tools, although to be honest, I rarely ever use them. If I need anything, it's a screwdriver. Typically, I'm opening the blade so I can, cut open a package or something like that. Cut zip ties, cut plastic, cut boxes, things like that. This is actually heavier. We'll get into the weight. But even with the Swiss Army knives, I wish there was just something a little bit bigger, because it jumps up from here to the next size I have, which I didn't think to grab because it's a locking knife. Well, I guess those are locking knives. But, you get up to the large size. And so something in the middle, I love this style knife. I like the feel of it and everything about it. But it would be nice if it was just a little bit bigger, but not that long, like the giant ones I have, like the Adventurer or the Trekker and things like that. But this kind of fills that role of, when you've got to be discreet. I don't know why, but some people who aren't knife people get weird. When you take out a knife and they just see it fly open, even though it's it's not not a scary automatic, even though it doesn't make a difference. It's like, who cares if it's a spring on my finger that opens it? It's still opening quickly. But for some reason, when people see something like that and they see this thing fly open, they're like, oh, immediately non-knife people get kind of weird. HR will look at you funny if you're in the office opening up a package like that. But when you pull out a little Swiss Army knife, or you pull out something like this looks like something your grandfather would carry. And the act of doing it like this, it makes it seem more like a tool and less like a weapon. It's a perception. It's not reality, but how it is for some people. Perception is reality. When they see you do that, they're like, oh, they think of it as a weapon. When you pull out this or this and you're sitting there going, okay, I need my bottle opener. They're just like, oh, whatever. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's a pocket tool. It's a multi-tool. When they see this, it doesn't look intimidating. I mean, it looks kind of classy. And when they see that action, I don't know why it's stupid, but it does rub people differently than a blade that just flies out. So I think that there's definitely a place for traditional knives, even though I really do prefer the locks and stuff. I don't know. There's maybe a little bit of nostalgia. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I'm gonna be 50 years old next year, so I'm starting to appreciate revolvers more. I'm looking to get out and shoot my lever action a bit more, and I'm looking at some of these other pocket knives. And while it's all cool to have the latest, tactical OTF, this, that. The reality is I'm opening up an Amazon package more often than not. And frankly, any knife will do. Now, it is easier to just be able to open it, close it with one hand, and it's more convenient. So I'm still leaning heavily towards one-handed opening knives. I really love this knife. But it is a Lionsteel, so I guess that makes sense why I got this one. But that's also M390, a little bit larger. We'll do a quick size comparison here between those two. A little bit bigger. Not massively bigger, but noticeably bigger. That's kind of, I think, the sweet spot for EDC. But this is it's right in there. It's on the lower end for me of what I would like to see for EDC. But it's really just about the design. It's about having something that's, even though it's new and it's modern in how it's manufactured, it's that old world design. If you were in a museum or something and looking at knives from like the late 19th century or something, and you saw something like this, it would look right at home. This might too as well, but you can get these in different colors. You can get it not carbon fiber, but you can get micarta, you can get ebony wood, you can get some, I think, rosewood or something like that. They also have an olive wood one, which is a very light. But I went for the more, I kind of just like that darker tone, so I ended up going with the carbon fiber. But very well made, very nice knife, really nice action for a slip joint. I mean, you can just listen to that. Really cool. Anyway, that is the Lionsteel Best Friend 2. If you're looking for a classy slip joint, or, here's the thing, you might live in certain countries where you're not allowed to have a one-handed opening knife. All right, well, in this case, this is removable. That's on there with a screw. So you can actually take that and remove that. But in some countries as well, you can't have a locking knife. If you're in the UK, you can't have a locking knife. I believe you might if there's certain... Well, actually, I don't know if you can at all. I'm not an expert on their laws. I just know that they're very anti-knife over there. They're obviously anti-gun, and that's extended now into blades, where they want to start forcing you to have cooking knives and chef knives with rounded tips so that you can't take your kitchen knife and go use it as a weapon kind of thing. Frankly, I think it's easier just to maybe try to convince people to stop stabbing each other, but I'm not the king of England, so I don't get to make the rules over there. But, in a lot of countries, you're not allowed to carry a one-handed opening knife. A lot of countries, you're not allowed to have a locking knife because they say, well, that's what transitions it from a tool into a weapon. And so slip joints are kind of what you have to carry. And for most people's needs, if you're not carrying a knife for defense or protection, which again, if you're not allowed to carry those types of knives in that country, then carrying a knife for protection is probably illegal anyway, then a slip joint is kind of what your only real options are. And so something like that, this is $140. It's not cheap, but it's not overly expensive either. I feel like that's in the range of, most people. If you wanted a good quality knife, and this is something that, has a great warranty. If you don't overly abuse this knife will outlast you. This is something you can leave to your kids or whatever and be a little bit of a family heirloom. Some of these other $50 knives, maybe not. They're well made, but they're not at the same level as something like what you get out of a Lionsteel or any of these MKM brands. So anyway, that is my short overview and specs of this. It's a really cool little knife. It's just big enough to be useful. It's classy. It's clean. It's quality. It's well made. What's not to like? So if you haven't checked out one of these and you're interested in some slip joints, I would go and give Lionsteel a try. I've never found a Lionsteel knife that I didn't like. The only thing I didn't like about some of the Lionsteels, like the Rock, are the ones that have that integral pocket clip that slips into the handle and you push the button, it comes out. And my problem with it is it's an amazing idea. And it's very functional in some ways in the way it folds out, so there's no hot spots. It goes back into the handle. It's really clean, but the spring isn't long enough, and there's not any kind of a barb or any kind of a hook or anything on the end to grab your pocket. It's just straight across. So it's very easy for that thing to just slide out. It doesn't have enough tension, and it doesn't curl back in or have a nubbin on the end to catch the lip of your jeans. And so you lay down on the couch and the knife slides out of your pocket. Or if you're in the car and you get out wrong, it could slide out of your pocket. That's the only downside I've ever seen on a Lionsteel knife. See how you've got that nub in there that grabs? It doesn't have that on those integral ones. Other than that, everything else about Lionsteel screams quality, screams precision. It's really nice stuff. Made in Italy. Check them out, y'all.